The storm was raging so fiercely that night, it looked like the sky itself was breaking apart. Rain hammered the streets. Wind howled between old brick buildings, and headlights smeared across the wet pavement as cars rushed by. Everyone wanted to get home. Everyone except the small figure sitting completely still on the side of the road. Michael almost drove past her. He was exhausted, his mind full of bills and schedules and worries that weighed heavy on a single father's shoulders. But something, maybe intuition, maybe instinct, made him slow his car. And when he looked closer, he felt his entire chest tighten. There, alone in the freezing rain, sat a little girl in a wheelchair, soaked, shivering, silent. And when he rushed toward her, she lifted her eyes, wide, scared, and pleading, and whispered words he would never forget. "Please, don't leave me too." Those 6 words would change everything. He had no idea who she was, where she came from, or why she was abandoned. But the truth he uncovered later, that stunned him more than he could have ever imagined. Before we begin, make sure you subscribe, like, and comment to support our channel, Your Channel Name. We share powerful, real-life inspired stories every week, and your support helps us reach more kind-hearted people who believe in compassion and second chances. Michael was the kind of man who didn't brag about the hard things he survived. He simply lived through them, day by day, while doing his best to raise his 8-year-old son, Noah, with love and patience. Life wasn't easy. He worked 2 jobs, slept too little, and often felt overwhelmed. But he believed one thing deeply: kindness mattered, even when life was hard. Especially then. That night, after finishing a long shift at his second job, Michael drove home through thick sheets of rain. His old sedan struggled against the storm, wipers squeaking across the windshield as he blinked tiredly at the blurry road ahead. He kept thinking of Noah, hoping he'd remembered to finish his homework, wondering if he was still awake. He just wanted to get home, nothing else. But fate had other plans. As he approached a dim intersection, a small shape made him slow down. At first he thought it was a broken cart or some fallen trash. But when lightning flashed across the street, he saw her clearly, a young girl, sitting motionless in a wheelchair. Michael's heart dropped. He parked abruptly, stepping into the freezing rain as he rushed over. The girl was maybe 11 years old, with straight light brown hair plastered to her cheeks. Her pink shirt and gray sweater were drenched, clinging to her thin frame. Her hands gripped the wheelchair armrests tightly, as if holding on to the last piece of safety she had left. He knelt beside her. "Sweetheart, are you okay? Where's your family?" Her lips trembled. "They left," she whispered. "They said they're coming back." But they didn't. Michael looked around the empty street. No cars, no adults, nothing but rain and darkness. His chest tightened with anger and disbelief. "Can I help you?" he asked softly. Her eyes locked onto his. "Please, don't leave me too." That was it. The moment his tired, complicated world shifted. Without hesitation, he wrapped his rain jacket around her thin shoulders and gently lifted her from the wheelchair into his car. She winced as her legs moved, clearly injured or recovering from something, but she didn't complain. She simply held on to him, trusting a stranger because she had no one else. Michael placed her safely in the back seat, folded her wheelchair and put it into the trunk. Then he drove through the storm with a tight jaw and a heart full of questions. When they reached his small apartment, Noah was waiting by the door, rubbing his sleepy eyes. "Dad? Who is she?" Michael gently carried the girl inside. "This is Emma," he said. "She needs our help tonight." Noah didn't hesitate. He grabbed a towel and carefully wrapped it around her shoulders. That simple gesture, one small boy comforting a stranger, told Michael he was raising his son right. Inside their warm but modest home, Michael prepared a cup of warm soup and waited for the girl to thaw from the cold. She seemed nervous, but little by little she began to speak. Her name was Emma. She had been living with her aunt and uncle since her mother passed away. They weren't cruel, but she could tell they never really wanted her there. Money was tight. She needed care. Her wheelchair made things more complicated. Sometimes she felt like she was an inconvenience in a home that didn't know how to care for a grieving child. That night, her relatives got into an argument. She didn't know about what. They drove, angry and distracted, until finally pulling over. They told her they would cool off and come right back, but they didn't. And Emma waited, and waited, and waited, until the storm got so bad she couldn't see anymore. Michael listened with growing disbelief. His hands tightened around the mug he held. What kind of people left a child alone in a storm? He didn't know all the details yet, but he knew one thing: Emma was not going back out into the rain. Over the next few hours, Michael dried her clothes, gave her Noah's extra pajamas, and set up a warm blanket on the couch. His home was small, worn, and simple, but it was safe. And somehow, Emma's face softened as she looked around, as if safety was something she hadn't felt in a long time. "You can rest here tonight," he told her. Her eyes filled with quiet relief. The next morning, Michael started making calls. He contacted social services, police, and child welfare agencies. He explained everything, carefully and honestly. It was tiring work, long conversations, waiting on hold, filling out forms, but he never complained. Emma needed someone steady, someone who wouldn't give up. While he made the calls, Noah kept Emma company. They played board games, colored pictures, and read storybooks. Emma smiled more that day than she had in weeks. She looked lighter, as if her worries loosened their grip. Over the next few days, the bond between them grew. Michael cooked simple meals, grilled cheese sandwiches, soup, pancakes, and Emma always thanked him softly. She helped fold laundry from her wheelchair, even though he told her she didn't have to. Noah shared his toys, his books, even his favorite blanket. A broken little family was quietly becoming whole again. Then the truth arrived. A week later, a social worker knocked on the door holding a sealed envelope. Inside was a letter from a lawyer, Emma's mother's lawyer. It explained that before passing, Emma's mother had set aside a trust fund meant only for her daughter's future care, enough to cover her schooling, therapy, medical support, and most importantly, guardianship. And according to the law, Emma had the right to choose who she wanted to stay with, as long as the home was safe. When the social worker asked gently, "Emma, who would you like to live with?" the girl didn't hesitate. She turned her wheelchair toward Michael, her voice soft but sure. "I want to stay with them. Michael and Noah, they're my family now." Michael felt the air rush out of his lungs. He knelt beside her, trying to steady his voice. "Are you sure, sweetheart? This is a big decision." She nodded. "You found me when everybody else forgot me. You cared for me even when you didn't know me. You didn't leave me in the rain." Michael pulled her into a careful hug, and Noah joined them, wrapping his small arms around both. The truth that stunned Michael wasn't the trust fund. It wasn't the legal papers. It wasn't even the responsibility of raising another child. It was this: kindness had created a family. A simple act, stopping his car on a rainy night, had rebuilt 3 lives that desperately needed each other. The guardianship process took time, but Michael handled every step with steady commitment. And Emma flourished. With therapy, love, and a stable home, she grew. Stronger. Her laughter filled the apartment. She and Noah formed a bond like true siblings, bickering, playing, supporting each other. And Michael, for the first time in years, he felt hope deep in his bones. Months later, another storm rolled across the city. Michael stood at the window watching raindrops streak down the glass, remembering the night he found Emma all alone. Behind him, Noah and Emma sat at the kitchen table, working on homework, laughing softly, and sharing crayons like they'd always been meant to. Michael turned back toward them with a full heart. A moment of kindness had rewritten their future. A single choice, to stop, to help, to care, had created something stronger than he ever imagined, a family built on love, compassion, and second chances. And that is the power of kindness. It doesn't always show up as something heroic or loud. Sometimes it's just a tired single dad stopping his car on a rainy night and changing a life forever. So as you go through your day, remember, kindness matters. It can save someone, it can heal someone, it can change your entire world. And maybe, just maybe, someone is waiting for your kindness right now.